Hello there, my friend. It's Tania Gabrielle, Wealth Astro-Numerologist. Welcome to Star Codes. This is the podcast where we look at an upcoming event in the stars and numbers, the astrology and numerology. And in this case, it is really going to focus on codes. We are going to look at more developments with 3i Atlas regarding the extensive numerology, including the name, also upcoming astrology tie-ins that reciprocate and elevate these codes, and the general upgrade that is going on over the next 3 months. And so we're going to do a deep dive into frequency. Now, as you know, October is a 10 universal month, and I'm recording this on Friday the 17th. It's not only the 10th month, but a 10 universal month in 2025. And the upcoming Libra new moon on Tuesday, the October 21st, is at 28 degrees, which also reduces to 10. So we'll have a quadruple 10 code for that Libra new moon. It's a significant new moon for many reasons, so be sure to watch my Libra new moon forecast on YouTube or my website, taniagabrielle.com. But what is going on now is we have several concurrent codes that are showing an initiation, a way of moving through energy that is brand new, will never have been felt before on Earth, and the concurrent 3i Atlas phenomenon that is really quite significant because it is coming at an epic moment right before 2026 when we move into a 10 universal year. So we're bridging many codes right now between October's 10-10 activation, and then November, the 11th month, will also be an 11 universal month. December, the 12th month, a 12 universal month. 10-10, 11-11, 12-12, 1, 2, 3. And guess what? That code is also activated in 3i Atlas, and I'm going to get to that in a moment. It is really uncanny in many ways what is happening and how we are bridging from an ending cycle in general in 2025, which is a 9 universal year of endings, culminations, to a new beginnings cycle in 2026, which is a 10 universal year reducing to 1. Let's just briefly recap. 3i Atlas came close to Mars, the planet that rules the first sign of Aries, on October 3rd, and we're still waiting for NASA to release the images. I mentioned that in episode 316. This is episode 318. You can look for it. I focused on 3i Atlas back then as well, and it was right after the flyby. Mars, though, is an initiator, and this was a very potent event. It happened in that 10-10 month. We just left September with the 2 eclipses, which was the 9th month, a 9 universal month, and a 9 universal year. So it was really about sort of leaving many things behind, and now we're initiating. And the next big event we're coming to regarding the numerology and 3i Atlas is October 29th. 29 reduces to 11. And this is when 3i Atlas will be in a perihelion with the sun and earth, a straight line being formed. It's a very powerful, it's similar to what happens with full moon, new moon, eclipses. So it's being created with the actual interstellar object on the 29th, which is a portal in itself. What is so amazing about October 29th? Well, 29 is 11. That's a master number of intuition and initiation. But also the 29th of October adds up to a 21 universal date. 21 is the 21st century that we're in. It's the truth shall set you free, which is going to become more and more relevant. The truth shall set you free, which is governing our whole century. And there is a 29-29-29 activation in the astrology. Mercury will be at 29 degrees in Scorpio, trine to Neptune at 29 degrees Pisces on that day. Now, this is highly significant because of the psychic ability between Mercury, trine Neptune. That, even with the numerology code, is significant for unleashing unbelievable transcendent ability to channel, to receive, to intuit. So get this, Neptune retrograded back into Pisces, its own sign, for the final time for just a few months before moving into Aries for many, many years and not entering Pisces again for over 150, 60 years. That happened on October 22nd, a day after the Libra new moon, which was on October 21st. There's that number 21 again. So here we are on October 29th, which adds up to a 21 universal date, and we have this 29, 29, 29 activation. Now, you can't get more intense than this. The 29th degree of any sign is called a critical degree. It is really the most intense degree, the final degree of every sign, which is 29. And then, we're on the 29th of October as well. Right after this Libra new moon at 28 degrees, which reduces to 10, now we have the 11. It mirrors literally the 10 universal month in October, the 10th month, and moving into the 11th universal month in November, the 11th month. And here we have on the second to last day in October, or third to last day on the 29th, this incredible trine. And again, a trine is 3, creation, mother, father, child, and we have 29, 29, 29, and yeah. Now, there's more. Mercury will be at 0 degrees Sagittarius later in the day, because it moves pretty fast, opposite to Uranus at 0 degrees Gemini. So we not only have the 29 activated, we have the 0 activated on the 29th of October. This event on October 29th leads up to the solstice event. This is 2 days before the solstice, where 3i Atlas will be closest to the Earth. Now, the 19th of December ties in again to all the ones in the code. 11 is 2 ones, 10 is 1 and 0. We have the 19th of December, 1 plus 9 equals 10, which equals 1 again. And 1 and 9 are the beginning and ending, the first and last digit. And amazingly, that's exactly when the sun will be conjuncting the galactic center. So at 27 degrees approximately of Sagittarius, 27, 28, when the sun is in that position, it faces the center of our galaxy. It's called galactic center. And it is a very potent point when anything happens on that degree of Sagittarius. So on the 19th of December, that's exactly where the sun will be, conjunct the galactic center. And that happens to be the day that 3i Atlas is closest to the Earth. So all these codes have one thing in common. We're all connected between 10, 11, and 1. And 1 is unique. So we have this sense of being unique with the 1, but also 1, we are all one energy. So within that, we are all one energy, there is a lot of uniqueness. So how do we tune into that frequency of light, that frequency of instant manifestation, that frequency that brings us to what is for our highest good and the highest good of all? The only thing we can do to take it all in is stillness. That's where intuition comes. That's where even a moment of stillness in music is filled with more music than the music itself, because it's resonating in your heart in that moment. So stillness is the source of being able to shift your frequency into the highest timeline. There's no need for light to have movement or action. You just need to be still. The more still you become, the clearer your field is, the quicker you're able to manifest your own reality, because light needs to broadcast. So the clearer your broadcast is, the quicker the adjustments are made to whatever you're intending. And that requires stillness. You'll only find that in the still point with light. Another way of looking at it is in quantum physics, when they ask what is real, how do you know it's real? So they're looking to see if energy is going to be a particle or a wave, because it has a kind of fluidity. And of course, they came to the conclusion that it depended on the observer whether it was a particle or a wave, which is extraordinary. So the observer forms a belief system and projects their thoughts, their intuition, their ideas, their psychic thoughts onto the field of existence. And then the field responds. Now, this is extraordinary because when you look at the number 12, which is a circle, the 12 signs, the 12 months, we're missing one number, and that's 13, because we actually have 13 lunation cycles, and which is, we have 13 weeks in a season. Venus has 13 cycles, 13 phases. 13 is the complete number, and the observer is the center of that circle of 12. The dot in the center is the observer. Now, 13 is the number of empowerment, life, death, rebirth, transformation, change. Like I said, 13 weeks in a season, 13 lunation cycles in a year, in a calendar year. So we have a tremendous amount of energy moving forward now with understanding what 3i Atlas is bringing to Earth as well, with all these other codes being activated. Now, in episode 316, where I first focused on 3i Atlas, I had mentioned that the 3i can be seen as a reverse of the number 13 and how there is a connection here. Now, we're going to dive a little bit more deeply. We're going to look at the name first, Atlas. So in numerology, A is the first letter of the alphabet, and there are two other letters in the alphabet that resonate to the number 1. So A is 1, and S is one of the other letters that resonates to 1. It's the 19th letter of the alphabet. So 1 plus 9 equals 1. Now, when is 3i Atlas going to be closest to Earth? On the 19th of December. So there is an activation of the letter S as well. So we've got A, and then we have TL, and then we have A and S. So we've got 3 ones there. T is the 20th letter. It reduces to 2. And L is the 12th letter. It reduces to 3. 1 plus 2 equals 3. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 1 as a code. And that in itself is ready, set, go for 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 1, or 11 into a new portal. There is a big message right there. Atlas itself is the globe. It's the whole world being impacted by this. And then also 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 1 plus 1, it adds up to 8. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 1 adds up to 8, and that is infinity. It is the connection we have to timelessness, to we live forever, eternity, whatever words fit that concept. So there's already so much right there to meditate on. I'm going to add one more thing, and that, of course, is the 3I, as in eyes, can also mean enlightenment. For example, when you consider in Buddhism, any deity with 3 eyes indicates that the third eye is activated, and it makes the deity enlightened, as Buddha was. So 3i can mean that third eye as well, but it can also mean something else. And there are always many, many dimensions and layers to when we go deeply into a very important subject matter. Is the interstellar object, which is only the third observable interstellar object that we have discovered, is it observing Earth? Is it observing humanity with the 3 eyes, the visual and the intuitive psychic? And this is where we need to now also segue into the topic of technological advances, because they come into play now, just like AI is just taking off like gangbusters now. This is happening for many reasons and happening very, very fast. And so using advanced technology is not in itself a negative whatsoever, but it can become dangerous when the consciousness behind it is unaware. Because technology, like anything, is a tool. So the intent is what determines if the tool becomes dangerous or becomes uplifting and helpful. And we move now circle back to the observer. So the observer will form a belief system to project their thoughts psychic thoughts, intuition onto the field of existence, and then the field responds. And so this is why consciousness, how conscious we are when we create, matters so much. So we are all energy, we are all light. You are everything in the universe. You are made up of the universe, and you resonate with the frequency of the creator. You create your reality. So you can take this amazing message of the observer, the middle of the circle that sees it all, right? It's like a constant decision of how you're going to, what you're going to focus on, right? How are you manifesting? Because you're projecting constantly. And then the field is constantly responding. And that's going to move faster and faster, this process, especially as we move into next year, the instant manifestation year. So hold this wisdom of the observer in your heart and be very humble with this wisdom, with this knowledge. Be grateful that you know it. Never use it to your advantage or to have power over others, of course. Be generous with it. Be gracious with it. And teach it where it is appropriate, where there is a request or a need. But also be very vigilant, be very awake, be very focused and precise and clear. Have a lot of clarity. You have to identify what it is you're seeing as the observer. What is it? And when you find that it is something you don't want or don't like, it's not to destroy it, but it is only to identify with it. And then it's up to you what you do about what it is you identify, right? Because sometimes when you identify something, it just means that it's time for you to move on. You've realized what it is. This is, again, reality, when you realize what something is. So being the observer, the center of the circle, is one of the major themes now in October and moving through the rest of the year. And then it will really take off in 2026. 2076, of course, is a 10 universal year. But what we have in very early on in the year is a 12,000 year event. And so this 10 universal year coincides with that 12,000 year event. It coincides with 3i Atlas, and it coincides with so many more incredible and very, very positive activations that begin right in January, actually. And I'm going to reveal it all in a very, very special live stream presentation on December 3rd. So if you want to have more details, go to 2026forecast.com. I will be hosting and presenting the 12th annual Ultimate Yearly Forecast. And it will focus not only on what's happening in general for humanity and the collective, but for you personally as well, because you're going to discover your own personal sun, moon, and rising sign astrology forecast, and also your personal year forecast for 2026. And notice that 26, 2 plus 6 equals 8, which is part of the 3i Atlas code. But also 2026 is a 10, which ties into everything that's moving forward now. 10 is the God number. So when I stream this powerful event on December 3rd, I will also have a Q&A where you can ask me about your code, because you will be very much involved in your personal forecast as well. And by the way, if you can't attend live, we're going to have an instant access replay right after the live stream. It's going to be made available for the whole year. And before I forget, if you sign up now at 2026forecast.com, you get that early bird discount. That's going to be around for a little bit longer. We still have seats for that. I don't want to fill it up too much because of the Q&A afterwards, where I want to answer your questions. So be sure to look at the short video about 2026 at 2026forecast.com, and have an incredible week. Gosh, there's so much going on. I can't wait to continue these podcasts and forecasts with you, and I'll see you in our next video. Lots of love.